again to Up Close and Personal. My name is Nyasha Diva and Zintle, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having yourselves a lovely weekend. It's the mature look season, and the mature look season continues. And I guess a lot of young people out there have been finding the mature look season very beneficial to them because they get to hear how different names in big industries actually made it. And I think it's really good because it helps them to keep pushing forward and get motivated to keep dreaming big. Today we ward off from the mature look season a bit. We just take it to another level. We have a South African actress in the house. And this comes at a time when Zimbabweans in South Africa have been experiencing xenophobic attacks. And I know a lot of people have been saying a lot about it, people in the media, and it's just been all over the show. And I think that it's my way to say no to xenophobia, and we're simply saying we're still united with South Africans as well. So we have a South African actress in the house. Stay close. Welcome to a very special edition of Up Close and Personal. I'm here with Zintle. I keep saying Zintle, but it's actually Zintle Ncipa. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Fine. Z, I'm really excited to have you on the show, especially in light of all that's happening between Zimbabwe and South Africa. You know, the xenophobic attacks. At a time when the world is thinking that Zim and SA are just fighting.
True.
I don't know, what's your comment about everything that's happening?
Well, there was actually a radio show that I did in South Africa with regards to that soon after my trip here when it had just started. And my thing is that as Africans, we still have to stand together and fight xenophobia together, because I believe that xenophobia is currently a South African issue, but I believe it's a continent issue whereby we tribalist, we xenophobic, and we have all of these things. But if we sort of talk about it and teach people about differences, then we all are able to love each other and be at peace as a continent.
Now, away from all that is happening, can you tell us about the kind of setup that you were raised in when you were growing up?
Well, I was raised by my grandmother. My mother at the time was still, looking for work, so she'll find work and go and work. So I was raised by my grandmother and my aunt. Oh, my grandmother was a tough one.
So you used to get beaten?
All the time. All the time. I didn't know what to expect, when to expect. One day it's the back of a hand, one day it's a shoe, another day it's a broom.
Now tell me about the media industry in South Africa. I think Zimbabweans and other people obviously tend to think that it's very easy. And I'm not just talking about our industry only. Even other industries, people just think that in SA it's actually easier. What's your comment about that?
It's not just for you. It's not just for you. I live in the Eastern Cape, and you think of Joburg, big city lights, celeb life, high life, big everything. Everyone wants to go to Joburg. I mean, you have to go to Joburg. The only way to make it is to get to Joburg. I got my first, I think my first real breakthrough in television probably in 2012. This is 2015, which is just 3 years ago. And I had arrived in Joburg in 2009. In my thinking, it was going to take a week, maximum 2 months. And I was just going to be there. I'm talented, I'm here, it's happening. It was not that easy. I think you have to have enough discipline, enough faith, work on your gift, work on your skill, grow other things, find out things, and obviously you can't, like most people, I fell into the trap of thinking that you arrive in Joburg and there's going to be a producer waiting for you when you drop off.
Yeah.
And there's no producer.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no one waiting for you except you in Johannesburg. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a proper strategy and plan. Okay, if it takes 5 years before I make it, what am I going to do within the 5 years? And the advantage for me is that within those years, I obviously went and started drama, I went and started life coaching, and I started working with young kids, and I started working in other companies, growing other skills that I could possibly use should I take a bit longer. So no, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Now for the one I think I like the most, Rhythm City. How did you get that role? It must have been amazing.
There's actually an interesting story. I think I was telling someone the other day that I remember 2009 when I just arrived, and Rhythm City was still very fresh then. I actually went to an audition on Rhythm City, and they were saying they're going to put it on the database. But then I think as much as I really wanted to make it, I was not ready. I did not believe it because of where I was coming from, Okay. Because as much as you're talented and you can, there's always that thing that says, but can I really? me.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to say it to people like, oh, of course, I'm gonna make it. But then you sit down and you're like, oh my God, but what if I make it? Because you know the biggest fear is not failing. It's what if you actually make it? What if you actually get phenomenal? So I remember I went for the audition. I arrived there. First day I arrived there looking ridiculous. I looked like a Christmas tree. I don't know why I made myself look like that. I think it was self-sabotage. You know, there's a part of the brain called the amygdala. This is something they teach us in life coaching. The amygdala is meant to protect you. So if you fear success but you don't know it, subconsciously you do. Because of everything, you're like, it's impossible for me to make it at that level. But then when you're about to make it at that level, the amygdala will kick in. It does not kick in all the time. It only kicks in when you're about to be in danger. So it kicks in, and then it will make you do something to protect yourself.
Okay.
Right? That's why in the night, when you're about to go out and you get scared about something might happen to me, all of a sudden you want to pee, all of a sudden you want to what, and you feel like you want to fall asleep. It's trying to protect you.
Okay.
So it kicked in and made me look like a Christmas tree, really. I got there and I couldn't act. Like, I could not act at all. And at the time, I was still in theatre. I was studying drama right at the time, so I could have been at the apex of my performance.
You know?
and I don't think they even put it in a database, really. I left. And after I left, I still didn't understand why I didn't make it. I was very, sour about it. Then a couple of years later, I got voiceover roles there and a few appearances there and there. But then I started having this thing that, what happened there? And then I started building myself and growing myself and grooming myself. And then I did a documentary, and then I did a film. And then now, Rhythm City sends me an email. And now, and it was because I've done a lot of other things and I've grown circles in the industry. Send me an email, we have a character available for you, Gama, are you interested? I looked at that email and I'm like,
wow. Wow.
Of course. What do you think?
Wow. I understand that you're a producer as well. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, I am. There's a couple of I think 2 films that I've produced. There's one that's on the way in South Africa called Alluvio, but there's one that I'm doing here, which is the reason why I'm here, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm starring with yours truly. So it's called Zianda. It's a human trafficking story. I'm very excited about this specific production, especially at this current time where the whole world believes that the African continent is at war.
You agreed to do this and we showing this unity and stuff. I think it's actually a stand to say, as the ANC, we still can be united.
It's not, it's the same thing that with the attacks that are happening now. People think the whole South Africa, people are evil, they're all Zimbabweans. And there's the same thing that's happening here whereby everyone thinks that everything is dead, no one has money, no one has anything, there are no cars moving. And then when you actually get into the jigsaw, but you realize that half of the things are not even true. It's a percent of the country that behaves that way, but then now we all fall to it. I'm really So now I'm really excited that I've done this. And
So it's more like actresses on against Xenophobia.
But you know that's actually true. You know that's actually really true. Because you had faced this side, I'm a face that side, and we are here together.
And we're here together, and we're saying,
we're
saying we're united. Yeah.
We are.
No killing.
It's been crazy. Thank you.
You've been watching the program Up Close and Personal. We have been hanging out with Zintle, a South African-based artist, and we have spent an entire 30 minutes listening to her journey of how she broke into the industry. And for her age, she has so much to say. It's just so amazing. She totally blew me away. To comment about today's show, you can go to our Facebook page, Up Close and Personal on the BCTV, or you can go to my Facebook page, Nyasha Diva and Zintle, or you can follow me on Twitter at Nyasha Diva. I know I always say in the words of so, but today, in my words, I will say no to xenophobia, and remember, violence does not solve anything. Also, payback does not solve anything. My name is Nyasha Diva and Zintle, and you've been watching Up Close and Personal. Thank you for listening.